Chapter 1 Monster Lore. Volo has encountered many monsters in his day, few as odious or as ornery as the ones described herein. This chapter takes several iconic D&D monsters and provides additional information about their origins, their dispositions and behaviors, and their lairs, above and beyond what is written in the monster manual. To give every monster such grand treatment would require too many pages to count. So we winnowed down the list to 9 groups of creatures that have a lot going for them and tend to get used often in D&D campaigns. Beholders, giants, gnolls, goblinoids, hags, kobolds, mind flayers, orcs, and yuan-ti. If you plunder this chapter for ideas and maps the next time you create an adventure or a villain, then this material has served its purpose. We hope that, as you explore each monster section, you'll come up with new ways to challenge and entertain your players, as well as find new things that you can borrow for your own D&D campaign. Let each entry spark your imagination. The lore in this chapter represents the perspective of Volo and is mostly limited to the Forgotten Realms. In the realms and elsewhere in the D&D multiverse, reality is more varied than the idiosyncratic views presented here. DM, use the material that inspires you and leave the rest. Beholders, bad dreams come true. To those who would seek to conquer beholders or merely understand them, nearly everything about their quarry is unfathomable. These bizarre creatures are possessed of alien intelligence, inhuman forms of perception, and the ability to shape reality through force of will, or even by their mere presence, inside the comfortable confines of its subterranean lair. A beholder is nearly unassailable thanks to the combination of its peerless intellect and the brutal effects of its eye rays. Some of the behaviors and motivations that beholders exhibit are analogous to those of humans and other intelligent creatures. The difference is one of degree. For instance, where a prideful, confident human might be cowed by a serious threat, the arrogance of a beholder knows no such bounds. It believes that it is superior to every other creature, even including other beholders. A human chess player becomes a master by honing the ability to look several moves ahead during a game, which is still no match for what a beholder can accomplish with its superior intelligence and awareness. The mind of a beholder is powerful and versatile enough that it can envision literally any possibility, and it prepares accordingly, making it virtually impossible for any invaders to catch it unawares. This way of thinking could be interpreted as a form of paranoia, and if so, it would be the most extreme form imaginable, while a human tyrant might be rightfully paranoid about unperceived threats, a beholder is paranoid even though it perceives everything, because that attitude is the natural companion to eternal vigilance. Beholders are among the few creatures that can shape reality in their vicinity. In addition, beholders don't truly sleep when they rest. Instead, a beholder's mind remains semi-conscious even as it dreams. As a result, on rare occasions when a beholder dreams of another beholder, the dream reality becomes warped and takes on physical form, becoming another actual beholder. To call this process reproduction would be inaccurate, because in most cases the old and new beholders fight to the death, a fact for which the rest of the world is thankful. In human intellect, a beholder sees in all directions. It is always looking for concealed attackers, even when it sleeps. Its smaller eyes remain open, scanning its lair for threats. If a human acted this way, the constant vigilance and lack of truly peaceful rest would lead to a dangerous level of psychosis, but a beholder's mind accepts this attitude as normal and necessary. It is always alert to the possibility of assassination or betrayal by unknown threats that stand ready to pounce on the beholder the instant it lets its guard down. Complementing this ever-present passive paranoia is the beholder's genius-level intelligence, where another creature would ignore the occurrence of two seemingly unrelated events as merely coincidental. A beholder imagines multiple ways they could be related, finding or fabricating a pattern out of supposed or actual randomness. By thinking of all these possibilities, however implausible they might be, and extrapolating its own actions in response, a beholder is truly prepared for any situation and has a strategy to counteract it. A beholder has plans on top of plans, even for the least likely circumstances. It doesn't matter if invading adventurers arrive at its lair with summoned angel allies or enslaved demons. By breaking through the floor, by teleporting, or riding dinosaurs, or girded with layers of magical defenses and armed with advanced weapons. In any case, the beholder's reaction is calculated because it has thought about what it and its minions must do in response to every situation. Despotic perspective. A beholder believes it is superior to all other entities. Unintelligent foes are regarded as food or pets. An intelligent creature is seen as food or a potential minion. A beholder's true rivals are other beholders, for only another beholder has the intellect, power, and magic to threaten another of its kind. Most of a beholder's mental activity is devoted to unearthing plots against itself, real or imaginary, planning attacks against known rivals, and preparing its defenses against all possible threats. It considers itself the center of the world in a narcissistic way. Of course, the clan of Durgar moving into its territory is because a rival is trying to oust it. Of course, the gang of adventurers in its lair were sent to kill it by a cowardly rival, and so on, because it is the perfect example of beholderness, and all their creatures are jealous. A beholder's arrogance is a prominent aspect of its personality, although it isn't inclined to brag of its superiority, especially in combat. It is dismissive of its opponent's efforts and insulting of their abilities and failures. An exceptional challenger can earn a measure of respect, enough that the beholder might be merciful and pacify the creature with a charm ray or a sleep ray instead of killing it outright. Of course, this mercy has a purpose. The defeated opponent is interrogated, subjugated, and offered a role in the beholder's retinue once its will is broken. A beholder might consider a group of skilled adventurers to be a valuable prize, and use its abilities to capture them all for this purpose, giving them the opportunity to serve as guards, spies, or assassins against a rival. Refusal means, at best, servitude as a charmed minion, and at worst, disintegration. Birth of a beholder. Beholders can produce others of their own kind, but the process has nothing to do with biology and everything to do with psychology. When a beholder sleeps, its body goes briefly dormant, but its mind never stops working. The creature is fully aware even though to an outside observer it might appear oblivious to its surroundings. Sometimes a beholder's dreams are dominated by images of itself or of other beholders, which might or might not actually exist. On extremely rare occasions, when a beholder dreams of another beholder, the act creates a warp in reality, from which a new, fully formed beholder springs forth unbidden, seemingly having appeared out of thin air in a nearby space. This offspring might be a duplicate of the beholder that dreamed it into existence, or it could take the form of a different variety of beholder, such as a death kiss or a gazer. It might also be a truly unique creature, such as could be spawned only from the twisted imagination of a beholder with a set of magical abilities unlike that of its parents. In most cases, the process yields one of the three principal forms of the beholder: a solitary beholder, a hive, or a death tyrant. Solitary beholders. Most of the beholders in the world live apart from others of their kind, and they like it that way. When a solitary beholder dreams another beholder into existence, the creature's basic nature often means that the first thing they do is try to destroy one another. A solitary beholder lairs within a cave system or ruined structure, either one of its own making or a place the creature took over after killing or driving off the beholder that gave it birth. A solitary beholder gathers or inherits inferior creatures that it uses as minions. These creatures help defend the lair and also serve as shock troops if the beholder vacates its lair to prey on the inhabitants of the surrounding area. Often it plunders its neighbors' homes for knowledge and treasure. After the beholder secures the spoils it desires from its enemies, it allows its minions to divide the remaining booty. I messed up. Eye tyrants. An eye tyrant is a solitary beholder that has suppressed its xenophobia and paranoia and chooses to live as the leader or ruler of a community or an organization that includes other creatures. This doesn't mean that the eye tyrant likes, respects, or understands the creatures it chooses to associate with, but it does distinguish between individuals of other races and communicates with them on a regular basis. An eye tyrant is still ruthless at eliminating threats to itself, whether from another beholder or some other powerful creature. It just doesn't have an insane fear that any creature not under its direct control is working for an enemy. Most known beholders who choose to interact with humanoid society in any way are eye tyrants. For an example of an eye tyrant that leads an organization of humanoids, see the section on the Xanathar Guild. Oh no, it froze.